What is up, YouTube? I am Mike, and today I'm back with another bro science class. Today we're going to be shifting gears from the cosmos and talking about something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is the drug called Arimidex. I have been seeing in my comment section with ever increasing frequency, many of you have become very concerned about my Arimidex use. This is one of those really annoying things that is pervasive in the bodybuilding community, and I'm actually really fortunate to be coaching people right now. So I've gotten the opportunity in the last week to several weeks to a couple of months to have had some people trust me enough to let me advise them on how to manage their estrogen. And 100% of the people who have used Arimidex to lower their estrogen have reported how much better they feel once they knock their fucking E2 down. So again, this is one of those kind of topics where I'm not gonna like put myself out trying to convince you of something. I already know the benefits. I know the risks. There aren't any. I know everything there is to know really about this drug and the way it works, and I am fully aware of just how phenomenal it is in a steroid cycle. I mean, it's just an absolute staple in any steroid cycle. At least some kind of an AI is, and I know that some people prefer Aromacin or Letrozole or whatever, and I've already made a video talking about the differences of those three drugs and why only two of them make any sense at all, and why I don't run the third. So I'm not going to beat that again today. What I'm actually going to be doing today is a little bit different on my videos. It's kind of the opposite of what I do on most of my videos, which is I'm going to open the comment section up so that we have sort of a classroom kind of a forum here. Because generally in a classroom, a teacher will make a claim or a statement, and then the students have an opportunity to respond, ask any questions, argue, I guess, if they want the point. And so typically I don't have any interest in doing that. And admittedly, since the trend is is much lower in my system, and I'm feeling much more calm and controlled, the comments aren't really affecting me in the same way they used to, other than to occasionally be the the source of a fucking trend rant. But again, I don't. Those rants are not really trend rants. They're just who I am. I could rant like that on absolutely no gear, but it's fun to call it a trend rant. So today I'm going to go over some of the apparent misconceptions about Arimidex that are in the community, and then leave it open to you guys if you want to give your own 2 cents, or what would be really great is if somebody had some fucking actual data to share. But the number one things that I hear recently, first of all, there's a lot of people who say you just shouldn't use Arimidex at all. They have some idea, I don't know where they got this idea, that AIs in general are bad. There is zero scientific data to back up this claim that I have ever seen. So I would love for somebody to show me something in the comments section that says that just across the board, Arimidex is something that you should just never want to use. Obviously, understanding that Arimidex is designed for women with cancer, I guess technically a male could take it, but it's for HR positive breast cancers or ER positive breast cancers. So cancers where they want to reduce estrogen to its lowest possible level, because the cancer actually feeds on the estrogen. And I think this is where a lot of people in the community get really befuddled. This is where a lot of confusion seems to set in, because people start looking at the side effect list of Arimidex, and they start looking at the pros and cons of Arimidex, and somehow their brains are not capable of separating the data about the drug that is given in the context of what happens when you use this drug to crash your estrogen into the dirt in an attempt to not die of breast cancer, and how markedly different that is than when you are a man who is aromatizing an excessive amount of estrogen and you are using the drug to return to a state of normalcy. So every time I hear somebody saying you don't ever want to have to use an AI, that you want to find whatever dose of testosterone works so that you don't have to use an AI because AIs have all these side effects. No, they fucking don't actually have any side effects really, unless of course you use the AI to crush your estrogen into the toilet. That's what causes the side effects. So when you look at the side effect profile, there's very few side effects that come just from the administration of the drug. The side effects come from the fact that when taking the drug as prescribed, it creates a state in the body that no one really wants their body to be in. Certainly not a bodybuilder. We never want to crush our estrogen into the toilet, with the exception of maybe in the late phases of a contest prep. But pretty much universally, anyone who has any experience with contest prep or estrogen management understands that if you knock your fucking estrogen into the dirt, you are definitely going to experience a whole host of very negative side effects. But you don't blame Arimidex for that. The side effects are not caused by the Arimidex. The side effects are caused by having no estrogen in your system. So if you are using Arimidex to keep your body in an otherwise normative state, you should be experiencing zero side effects from the use of this drug. The second thing that I start seeing is people start getting like really freaked out when I said that I was up to taking 4 milligrams of Arimidex a day. People are like, oh my God, 4 milligrams of Arimidex? That's crazy. You can't take that much Arimidex. You need to switch to some other drug. And I'm like, but why? Why would I switch to some other drug? First of all, the drug has been prescribed to women in 1 milligram doses with the expectation that they would take 1 milligram per day. So the vast majority of the medical data is on females who are using at least 7 milligrams a week. So again, these are females who, number one, have breast cancer. So they're already not feeling life. They're already having a lot of problems. And two, they're taking 7 milligrams a week for the express purposes of crashing their estrogen, which comes with a whole host of negative side effects, as I've said. Using an aromatase inhibitor to create a state of normalcy is absolutely not a one-to-one comparison with crashing your fucking estrogen. So I cannot for the life of me understand where any of you have come to the conclusion that the use of an AI for the purposes of normalizing estrogen levels has any negative effect on the body at all, period. If you look through the medical data, you will see that there are cases where something can occur. But this is true of every single drug known to man. So there's cases of hepatic stress from people who used Arimidex. They have to report that this person had hepatic stress. But if you read the fine print in the Arimidex data, you will see that they very clearly stated that they could find no connection between the use of the drug and the hepatic stress. They can't possibly know if the hepatic stress is coming from any of the other fucking cocktail of drugs that a person who's experiencing breast cancer is likely taking. So when you're trying to look at the medical data to determine how safe Arimidex is for a male on contest prep or to offset aromatase expression on a blast, I mean, you're really shooting in the fucking dark, and you're just looking at data that doesn't even remotely make sense to apply to yourself. So this is one of the very unfortunate cases where, by and large, anecdotal research, like my own personal research, the research of thousands of bodybuilders worldwide, or like the experience of TRT clinics, is really all we have if we want to glean any kind of actual usable data about how these drugs work and what their efficacy is. The final thing that I want to talk about is this concept that Arimidex is only intended to be used for short periods of time. Again, I don't know where the fuck you guys get your data, but nothing could be further from the truth. So there are a number of research studies. One is at breastcancer.org/research-news/10 years Arimidex. You could just look up 10-year Arimidex study on Google if you want to look at it. And primarily what they're looking at is survival rates for breast cancer of women who are on Arimidex for 10 consecutive years. They have a 5-year cohort, they have a 10-year cohort. But in all of the medical literature that I've read, the purpose of the drug was for them to be on it potentially for life. That this drug is something that they might require taking for a minimum of 5 to 10 years to try to prevent the recurrence of the breast cancer. So I again don't understand why you guys start to get concerned when I say that I run Arimidex year round and have been for the last 3 years. That falls perfectly within the scope of the medical fucking literature and the efficacy and the reasons for the creation of this drug. So obviously it's safe to take for those periods of time, otherwise it would have never passed through the clinical phase of research. And I mean, the most I would be willing to grant you is it's never ideal when you're looking at the efficacy of a drug that's used to treat people who are dying versus people who are trying to live as long as possible and are otherwise not diseased. But there is nothing, again, about the chemistry of Arimidex and how it works in the body that would give it any deleterious effects at all, period. So I don't know where John Jewett gets this data. I don't understand why More Plates, More Dates or Vigorous Steve or anybody in the community has ever made the statement that you want to try to use the lowest amount of testosterone possible to prevent the use of an AI, as if using an AI was some uber toxic fucking drug. There is just absolutely no reason to believe this. Again, furthermore, what I'm figuring out, and maybe this is due to the lowered amount of tren in my system, is I've finally gotten to a place in life where I realize that I don't really need to convince you guys that I'm right. Okay, I'm gonna present my data based on the experiences that I have with the drugs that I use and what happens in my body. And I can tell you without a doubt that I have 0 side effects from administering Arimidex in as high as 4 milligrams per week for years on end without stop. I have never gone a single week in the last almost 4 years without at least 1 milligram of Arimidex in my system. I tolerate it very well. I notice 0 side effects. It is never shown up on any blood work. It causes me absolutely no problems. The problems that I have had from even remotely high estrogen are orders of magnitude worse than anything that could possibly be caused by the Arimidex. I mean, it's just not even close. Having high or low estrogen makes you feel fucking terrible immediately in so many ways. And Arimidex will alleviate these symptoms in as little as 24 hours, sometimes less time. And when I stay on the right dose of Arimidex, I have 0 estrogenic side effects, which is one of the many, many reasons that I'm able to have 6-pack abs and be fucking dry and vascular year fucking round, is because I don't carry around a shit ton of body water. And so like I said, the several clients that I've had, it's been so great to read their responses. Usually within the first 4 to 5 days of them starting Arimidex, I've had guys tell me how they feel substantially better. One guy said, I feel like an absolute monster on Arimidex. One of the things that I've noticed is high amounts of estrogen in your system, even if you think it's not causing you any problems because it's not causing you any gyno or anything, the high estrogen mutes the effect of the steroids. And one of the things you will notice is that if you knock your estrogen down into either the normal or high normal end of the range, you will suddenly feel like you just got more steroids in your system. Because you did. Because you did. You will suddenly feel much more aggressive, much stronger, much more confident, because you will actually have more free fucking testosterone, more free androgens in your system, because they're not being stolen by aromatase and being turned into estrogen. 100% of the guys that I have convinced to lower their estrogen have reported extremely, extremely positive results. So if you want to have these results, then I recommend that you go out and get your estrogen checked. And if it is anything over 50 or 60, you need to bring it down, and you will definitively feel better in a week or less time. It will also almost certainly lower your blood pressure, because when you are carrying excessive amounts of body water, that is a known cause for high blood pressure. And so one of the many things that guys report is their blood pressure is lower, they feel better, they have more energy, they feel more aggressive in the gym, they can feel their androgen more. Basically, every conceivable metric in quality of life improves when you use an Arimidex, when you use an aromatase inhibitor to put your estrogen level back where it belongs. Everything that you have read about the negativity or the negative side effects or the ugly side of Arimidex comes from cancer patients or people who are using it to crush their estrogen into the toilet. No one is recommending that you do that. We're only saying to use it as needed to maintain a proper balance of estrogen in your system. And no, that is not some stupid fuck ratio. I don't give a shit if you're taking 2,000 milligrams of testosterone per week. Your estrogen still needs to be in the normal fucking range. I don't know how anyone thought that this made any sense. No one's running around telling women who go on fucking steroids, well, now that you're taking a little bit of steroids, you need to double or triple or quadruple the estrogen in your system to offset all of the steroids you're taking. Fucking nobody says that. In fact, women do the direct opposite. They get on stage and they jack up their androgen load, and then they crush their estrogen into the toilet so that they can get rid of all of the body water and all of the excess body fat, so that they can get in the most diced, peeled condition possible for the stage. This idea that because you have more testosterone in your system means that you need more estrogen in your system is absolutely in no fucking way backed up by any medical science at all. More Plates, More Dates regurgitated this bullshit for fucking years, and it is the number one. I swear to God, I'm beginning to believe there's a conspiracy in this fucking community. I'm beginning to believe people are intentionally passing around bad information so that people won't succeed in their goals. It's like, why would the pros give you the fucking the truth that's going to help you potentially beat them on the stage? I think they're lying to people in general so that they can keep competition at bay. If everybody's in the dark, walking around with 30 pounds of body water on their fucking frame, with fucking broken dicks and blood pressures that are stratospheric, they're never going to be able to compete at a high level. And I'm rapidly beginning to believe that all of these people are actually telling you intentional lies to keep you from getting all of the gains that you could possibly get. I don't have a fucking horse in the game, so I have no reason to lie to you. If you believe me, great. You'll feel better. Congratulations, good for you. If you don't believe me, you don't want to take any Arimidex, and you want to have shitty fucking gains, and look like trash year round, and have fucked up blood pressure, then go ahead. Knock yourself out. do whatever the fuck you want. I'm not here to try to control your behavior. I'm here to give you the actual real truth of the matter. And the truth of the matter is, Arimidex is not toxic in any way, shape, or form and will cause you zero side effects if you use it in a controlled manner to keep your estrogen levels in the normal range of operation. So there you have it. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.